those weak and drunken hearts. Guess he kissed the girls and made them cry, those hard-faced queens of misadventure. God knows what is hiding in those weak and sunken eyes. Fiery throngs of muted angels, giving love but getting nothing back. Oh, people, help the people. And if you're homesick, give me your hand and I'll hold it. People, help the people. Nothing will drag you down. Oh, and if I had to bring, oh, and if I had to bring, I'd be cold as a stone and rich as a fool. It turned all those good hearts away.
In 2011, 2 young Wagga mums returned from a trip to Cambodia. They were so affected by what they saw on that trip that they were determined to make a difference. You can't go to Cambodia and not be affected by the extreme poverty. It's just everywhere.
So on the trip that we went last year over to Cambodia, we went to 4 different schools that have all as a result of money raised in Wagga. And to see those hundreds of kids, it just blows my mind to think that in 4 years of this charity's existence, hundreds and hundreds of kids' lives have changed. And they're not like kids in Australia that just go to school because they have to. These kids want to go to school. These kids want to learn, they want to change their lives, and they're so appreciative of what's happening for them, and it's just really heartwarming to see.
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You can look around at the kids and know that they've got somewhere to go when they're sick, they've got education, they've got clean water. Their life is totally different to what it was 3 years ago.
Their family live in the slum area. It is very hard for them to send a child to school. That's why we build up TRC and we bring their children come and join to us. The first time they come here, it seems like they are very, very slim. It seems like their body is, not healthy. But when they come here, because we give them food, enough nutrition, so their body look very healthy. With the education, first time they come here, they don't know anything. They know just a little bit, just speaking. But for writing, very bad, even though it's in Khmer. But now they can write in Khmer very good, and they can also write in English. And also they can speak English as well, Before that they are very bad, but now they start getting changed better, better and better.
The slaughterhouse village was just downhill from an open abattoir, and it's not a meatworks like we know it in Australia. It was all open. You could see the cattle, you could see them being slaughtered, and all the waste from that meatworks would run down the hill and underneath these structures that the families lived in. We wouldn't put our chickens in these structures. They were just made of sticks and corrugated iron and old tarpaulins, anything that they could get their hands on. In the wet season, the water underneath would just be putrid water, and the families, the children, would wade through this to get from hut to hut. So there was a lot of illness in this village. There was a lot of despair. There were mums with young children worried about where they would get their next meal from. There was little hope.
What happened was we've got to put these people into houses, and that's where the concept of slaughterhouse came along, and we created Happy Village. Happy Village was built not far from our Harvest of Hope school, out in Praesor, so not far out of the centre of Phnom Penh. Families have relocated, the kids are educated, parents are working, they're in beautiful new homes, they've got running water, they've got toilets that work, they've actually got electricity. Totally different to their life living underneath an abattoir.
I brush my teeth, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, I comb my hair, I eat breakfast,
So the 16 homes that we built for the slaughterhouse village residents, visited them twice in the last couple of years. The first time was great, new homes, All the families were there, the mothers and the kids. It was really busy. Our last trip we went back, the slaughterhouse homes were empty, and said to one of the teachers at school, "Why is it empty? Where is everybody?" And they went, "Oh, all the kids are at school and the families have got jobs just down the road at the factories." You know, their lives have changed amazingly in 2 years.
I love the dump school. It's an amazingly inspiring story about a really community-minded family, a young man by the name of Bopal Choin. He has a home in a village right next to a rubbish dump where most of the villagers scratch out a living by sorting through garbage and collecting recyclables. The parents, the children, all family members scavenge. Bopal lives in a house with his wife and 2 children and his mother-in-law and his father-in-law, and what they do every day is roll up their bedding, push it aside and open their house as a school for the local village children. When we were visiting, the older girls in the classroom performed some traditional Khmer dances for us, and then they all introduced themselves. Their English was really impressive.
My name is Song Kim. I am grade 9. I have studied in this school for 3 years.
When we were in Cambodia, we travelled to KO province. There's a school there called Light of Hope. It is this beautiful little school, but it's 2 bamboo huts with weaved walls. 120 kids attend that school. They have 2 sessions per day so that they can get the kids in and out of the school. They have uniforms, which is fabulous, but the school facilities were horrible. While we were there, the team that was there committed to building these guys a school. So that was our aim for 2014 ball, was to raise enough money to build Light of Hope. That was our aim for 2014. We came back, had our ball, fantastic. We raised heaps of money. Really happy and proud to say that last week was their first class, official opening of Light of Hope, and they've got 2/3 of the school that they were planning to build. So Light of Hope had 3 sections of the school that they were wanting to build. Each section cost about $28,500. So from our board we were able to complete 2 stages of that. So $28,500, you think it's not a lot of money, but you have a look at what you can do in Cambodia for that amount of money and the lives you can change, the people you can educate. It's not much.
You know, $20,000 here might seem like nothing, but over there it can build a school, it can build a house for a whole community. Like, it just goes so far, and that's what really blew me away and also made me realise that there is a difference that can be made and it is achievable to be made. It's not just a pipe dream, it can actually be done here in Wagga. 12 months ago we were standing in an empty patch of land looking at paper plans. 2 months after that we're at a ball raising money. Now, 10 months on, it's actually happened. There's kids in school. It's just great to see and how quickly things can happen. So yeah, we can raise money here within 12 months. It's on the ground over there and making a difference already. And we can now move on to our next project and what's going to be in another 12 months. And then another 12 months.
We continually provide ongoing support because a lot of Wagga people sponsor the children at the 3 schools.
Okay, so I would like to say to all of the sponsors, you know, your sponsor, it is affect our student a lot, you know. Without your sponsor, a child will be an education because they don't have ability, because their family don't have ability to send their child to school. So it means your sponsor, it is very, very important. You know, your sponsor is not just only the thing that you give to them or the money you give to them, but you know, you build up a life in the future.
None of this can happen at all without the support of our businesses in Wagga. That's who support us every year. If we didn't have that support, none of this would be happening. Wagga people make this possible. Wagga has changed the lives of every single person in this centre, and that's parents, that's kids, that's teachers, that's ladies who work in the sewing room. It's impacted hundreds of lives. And that's one centre, we've got 3.
That The regular sponsorship provides so much for the children at the school. It goes towards their resources, their books, teacher resources. It pays for a meal to be provided for each child each day at school.
I can say for the first time, without the donation from overseas, TRC cannot opening. But because of the support from outside to help us, that's why we have TRC. And we are happy that from the beginning that the sponsor, the fund that has been raised outside to help us. And because of the sponsor outside to help us, that's why today we have TRC, today we have education, and today the children, they are happy.
Finally, I would like to say thank you for the sponsor at Wagga Burger that you try very hard to support all the kids here. And I believe fully that in the future, all the kids, they are very good person in the future. Yeah. And please keep sponsoring and keep continue to sponsor all of them. Yes, thank you very much and may God bless you all.
After seeing the difference that has been made in such a short amount of time in this country, from support 100% out of Wagga, that's what made me want to change from being just a supporter of a charity to being a participant, and so I'm now on the committee. And the lives that we're changing over there, those lives will actually go on to change other people's lives, which will then go on to change even more lives. And it's just a continual cycle, and it all starts here in Wagga.